It was still shooting though,
Okay,
right?
go. Yeah. Now it's going again.
All right, so you have the cross, which has 4 points. And those 4 points represent the 4 elements, which is air, earth, water, and fire. Because this is to all you Christians who say that astrology is satanic and it's not of Christianity. So I'm going to show you that you worship it every single day, or every Sunday when you go to church. Sunday, all right? You have the 4 elements, and then you have the sun that is on the cross. The S-U-N, not the S-O-N. Then you have the 12 disciples who follow the sun, which in actuality, the S-U-N has 12 zodiacs following. So we have to understand that you can't read this Bible from a surface point. You gotta understand that these were philosophers, philosophical homosexuals who wrote this book, you know. So, yeah, we're gonna go into a lot of the metaphysics of the Bible because we gotta understand that Satan and Christ is one and the same. You know, Christ is your higher self, that's the Christos, that's the melanin. You understand what I'm saying? You have 12 systems of the brain. And the 12 systems of the brain follows that major third eye, which is the pineal gland, which is the Christ. You understand what I'm saying? So, and the locus coeruleus is the major one. So, and not only that, you have cases where now they finding people, they're coming out between 3 a.m. and 5 in the morning, and a lot of people in Atlanta have become missing, have come up missing. And these are the people who have been living on the streets. And what they do is they take them to these secluded places in Georgia, and they kill them. And they take the pineal glands out of them because the pineal gland is what they use to make melatonin pills. That's all it is melanin. Melatonin pills helps them to sleep because white folk can't sleep. You understand what I'm saying? So, and now there's cases also that I've been looking over, and I work very closely with melanin cases and how they're using this as far as our DNA against us. Because you got to understand that melanin has an alkaloid too. But they are actually taking these pineal glands, and what they do is they freeze them, they crush them up, and then they make melatonin pills out of them. And now you're having these white folk that's taking these melatonin pills are coming out saying that they are having these visions of these unknown things that's chasing them, what they call monsters. So, yeah, so we have to look at this thing here. It's synonymous to the movie with Freddy Krueger, Nightmare on Elm Street, where you got all these white people who fall asleep, and they got Freddy Krueger, you know, kill them. They ain't waking up. And there's cases where they not waking up. Why is that? Because now the solar system is at a rise. There's a paradigm shift going on within the constellations of Orion. Sirius A is now coinciding with Sirius B. It hasn't for a long time, but it just now went back into retrospect about 2012, on retrograde in 2012, and now it's communicating with Sirius B. So you have to understand that we are all a people, we are all a universe, but we are human universes. You understand what I'm saying? We are human. Nothing that you see exists. We are living in the matrix. Because you're not the flesh, as the Bible said. Be not of the flesh. Why is that? Because you are not the flesh. And once you come outside of your body, once you leave this body, you got to understand that you will see none of this around you. You will have no senses. You understand what I'm saying? They say that you have 5 senses. Some say you have 7 senses. You only have 1 sense. You have 1 sense. What you do is you can vibrations. Vibrations. Senses pick up on vibrations and frequencies. So even through tasting, you can hear. Through your sight, you can hear, and through your ears, you can see. And this is what you call accomplishing that third eye and opening up that third eye, to be able to go outside of yourself and be able to connect with the universe, because that's what you are. As I say again, you are nothing but a fragment of the sun. We are the sun people. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, we are a people that, and I want to go stay with the melanin for a minute, because inside of this melanin, a lot of people say, well, why is black people more addicted to crack cocaine than the European? Well, this is why. Cocaine has an alkaloid in it. Melanin has an alkaloid in it. And they studied that DNA very closely. And what they did was, they saw that they can make the DNA attract to the materialistic element of crack cocaine. And this is why we are so much determined. It gives you a determined spirit towards the physical. So they have to connect a spiritual and a physical, because white people have spirits too. They just don't have a soul. You understand what I'm saying? They operate on low frequency. You understand what I'm saying? And they are emotional beings by nature. They are emotional beings, and this is why we think that they are us, because they can love, they can hate, and etc. So this is what makes them appear to be human, but they are not human. If one of these bastards see you on the street and it's a dog in the road, they'll pick the dog up before they pick your ass up. And that's a mere fact. You just gotta roll with it, whether you like it or not. So you got the pastor in the church sleeping with the members and the homosexuals up inside of the choir and things like that. Why don't we condemn that? If you're going to be a follower of the Bible, then at least follow it. Don't be hypocritical to your own doctrines. You understand what I'm saying? If your God, which I have no connection to, says that he's against homosexuality, why the hell are you bringing two men in your church to marry him? Because this is a system that was set up by Europeans. These are sick people. This was started by the Roman Catholic Church. If you go back 5,000 years, you couldn't find one homosexual depicted in Egypt or in Kemetic. But even some of the conscious people today say there were, because they are reading the papyrus wrong. They don't know how to read it. They don't know how to understand or understand what they are looking at, because they're looking at it through a physical lens. You understand what I'm saying? So what we have to do is now we have to look more into ourselves, because the universe is changing, and sooner or later, those who don't have that mind, when it's due for them to expire, they will be back here on this third dimension until they get it right. You understand what I'm saying? So those with the extraterrestrial DNA, when I say extraterrestrial, don't look at some old spooky green monster. And we're going to break it down in etymology. Now, extra is something that you have more than somebody else. A terrestrial is geographical somewhere else. So whether you have more of a scientific DNA, you have more knowledge, more wisdom, you'll consider an extraterrestrial. The UFO, the wheel is within the mind. You have the 12th eye of the soul of the wheel. It's in Ezekiel if you look it up. He had eyes round about. You understand? So see, I got 1 minute. So we have to analyze very closely who we are, because we are following the system and becoming a hybrid species by way of us believing. Now what you put into your mind can affect your DNA. You understand what I'm saying? So in the next episode, we're going to get more into the sound, the signs of sound and frequencies, if you will.